In the heart of Jamaica's Blue Mountains lies Maroons Hollow, a small, tranquil village with vibrant colors, warm smiles, and tightly held secrets. But one dark night, this peaceful community would become the center of a chilling murder that shook the island to its core. This is the true story of Marsha Blake, a beloved teacher whose untimely death left behind more questions than answers. Marsha was more than just a teacher. She was a mentor, a dreamer, and a fierce advocate for her community. But even those closest to her could not have imagined the secrets she was carrying, or the danger she faced because of them. Interviews with her best friend, Gloria Morgan, and her favorite student, Jason Wright, paint a picture of someone deeply compassionate but occasionally withdrawn, as though something weighed heavily on her mind. The rain was coming down hard, and I saw this car on the roadside. The door was open, which I thought was strange. When I went closer with my flashlight, that's when I saw her, lying in the mud. I'll never forget that sight. Marsha's injuries suggested a struggle. Her phone was found with unsent messages to Jay, but her car keys were missing and her belongings were oddly untouched. It didn't look like a robbery, and there were no immediate suspects. For a town like Maroons Hollow, where everyone knows each other, this kind of violence was unheard of. The police, overwhelmed and underfunded, make slow progress. Interviews reveal growing frustration among the villagers, who feel uneasy and demand answers. Jason Wright, Marsha's 16-year-old student, comes forward with a cryptic story. He admits he met with Marsha that night because he overheard something alarming, a conversation between two men at a local bar. They were talking about silencing someone, Jason tells investigators. I didn't know what they meant at first, but when Miss Marsha said she was in trouble, I started to think it was about her. As the investigation deepens, Marsha's private life becomes public. Journal entries and emails reveal she had been compiling evidence about illegal land acquisitions in the Blue Mountains. Developers were bribing officials to seize protected land, threatening both the environment and local livelihoods. Interviews with environmental activists confirm Marsha had reached out for help. One activist recalls she was determined to expose what was happening. But I warned her it wasn't safe to do it alone. I wish I had done more to help her. The police focus on two leads. Marsha's ex-boyfriend, Damian Carter. Described as possessive and volatile, Damian had been seen arguing with Marsha weeks before her death. He denies any involvement, but witnesses claim they saw his car near the crime scene that night. Gloria Morgan, Marsha's best friend. The two had recently clashed over funding for a school project. Villagers whisper that Gloria had been acting strangely since Marsha's death. Gloria breaks down during a police interview, revealing that Marsha confided in her about the corruption scandal but swore her to secrecy. She didn't want anyone to know until she had all the proof, Gloria says tearfully. The turning point comes when police uncover surveillance footage from a nearby gas station. The footage shows two men, one wearing a distinctive red cap, purchasing fuel just an hour before Marsha's body was found. Forensic analysis of the crime scene reveals traces of gasoline on Marsha's car, suggesting an attempt to destroy evidence. The red cap is later found discarded in a nearby ravine, leading police to a local enforcer named Carlton Red Cap Johnson, known for his ties to shady developers. Under pressure, Carlton confesses to being hired to intimidate Marsha, but insists the murder was unplanned. He implicates Gloria Morgan, claiming she tipped off the developers about Marsha's findings. Gloria didn't want her to go public, Carlton says in a chilling police interview. She thought it would bring trouble to everyone, but things got out of hand. Confronted with the evidence, Gloria admits her role, claiming she only wanted to scare Marsha into stopping her investigation. Gloria is sentenced to 10 years for conspiracy, while Carlton and his accomplice face life in prison. Damian Carter is exonerated, though his reputation remains tarnished. A memorial is held for Marsha in Maroons Hollow, where villagers share stories of her kindness and determination. Jason Wright speaks tearfully, saying, "Miss Marsha believed in us. She stood up for what was right, even when it cost her everything." Marsha Blake's death was a tragedy, but her legacy endures. Her courage inspired a community to fight against corruption and protect the land she loved. In the end, her voice was not silenced. It became a rallying cry for justice.